Hi, now I'm coming to you via Zoom because I'm going to be sharing with you my screen when we look at the comparative market analysis. But before we got into the comparative market analysis, I wanted to share with you some points about the market for properties in the Gold Coast, and in particular, um, co-op properties. Right now, there are 46 co-op apartments priced over $1 million for sale in the lakefront neighborhoods, and that includes, I'm using the near north side, Lincoln Park, and Lakeview. And there are more co-op buildings in on the near north side than there are in the other areas, but I've included all of them. And right now there are 46 for sale at a price exceeding $1 million. 22 of those 46 have been on the market for over a year, most of them for several years. 13 are similar in size to Unit 8. 7 are on the market at 1500 North Lakeshore Drive, which is a similar building to 1530 in terms of location, elegance, and yearly cost to live there. Right now, only one co-op apartment is under contract. One that's priced at over $1 million is under contract. That apartment has been on the market for 3.5 years. We'll know the sale price until after it closes, but so we'll find that out in the coming months. In the past year, 15 co-ops have sold. 7 sold after more than a year. On average, these properties sold for 65% of their original list price. 4 apartments, however, sold in under a month, and those properties sold at 96% of their original list price. That tells us that pricing from the start matters. When realtors think about pricing, they look at comparable properties, comps. And for us, the most relevant comps will be comps, sales and actives and canceled, and et cetera, in the same building. Only if the data is incomplete, if there's not enough data, if there hasn't been a recent sale in the same building, then we start to look at other buildings. So let's just take a look at what's going on at 1530. We have 3 comps for pricing for 1530 for apartment 8. The most relevant comp was the sale price for unit 7, which closed in March 2020. That sold, as you probably know, for $1,050,000. It started, its original list price was 2.45 million, and so the active units for sale are 2. They are units 4 and unit 3. Unit 4 is an estate sale, and its price currently is $995,000. It's been on the market for almost 2 years, though it's been empty for much longer. Unit 3 is also active. That appears to be a pied-à-terre for a family that lives out of state and isn't in any hurry to sell because it's been on the market since September 2017, on and off the market. And its original price was $3,450,000, and it's now on the market for $2,350,000. So it's come down $1.1 million during that period. And so what do those comps tell us about marketing apartment 8? Well, it tells me that the lower floor units, which have much poorer light and less attractive views, won't get the same price as or have the same appeal as a higher floor unit. I don't know where unit 3 is going to end up selling, but if they decide that they want to sell, it'll probably be at or around $1 million, but it's up to them what they accept and what they do with that property. Higher floor apartments will sell at a price commensurate with what it's going to take to get them modernized, to renovate them, and the cost of living there, and the cost of having to get other live somewhere else while you're doing all of this work. It's a big investment, and so the price will reflect some of those other considerations. Now, when we think about Unit 7 and Unit 8, Unit 7 and 8, and you'll see these from the pictures, are, if you put the decoration aside, relatively similar in terms of finishes, in terms of quality and age of the finishes. Beautiful old floors. Unit 7 has some upgraded bathrooms. The kitchen is sort of similar in terms of updated time frame as Unit 8. But Unit 8 is just enough higher that it has better views from all of the windows. And that's meaningful. So a buyer or somebody who's interested in the Heenan apartment will think, well, maybe I can get it for the same price as Unit 7, but you'll have a story to tell that this is a more valuable unit because of its height. And so I would not recommend listing it at the same price that Unit 7 sold for, but adding an additional amount to reflect the increased value of the view. Now, I say that and I go back to there are 46 co-op apartments on the market for over $1 million right now. There perhaps wasn't the same kind of, and this is not the right term, but sell-off going on back when Unit 7 sold or went under contract. So right now there's a feeling in parts of Chicago that we want to sell now. And so there are a lot of units on the market. So I would not recommend that you be terribly aggressive for the value of that additional view, but it exists. And so there you've got it. I also think that there are other buildings that are who are relevant to how you might think about pricing it. A co-op is great because, especially in today's market, the price per square foot is extraordinary for purchasing power. They are more expensive to live in, but you get so much room at a really good price. So that's pretty terrific. They're not selling very rapidly, so we don't have a ton of comps to use to help pricing outside of 1530. The buildings on Lakeshore Drive are enough different by being on Lakeshore Drive that I have reached out to 233 East Walton, which is another building, another co-op that has similarly sized apartments, single floor. The difference is, and this is a significant difference, you guys have parking and you have 2 spots, and that is meaningful, though they have parking nearby. So they can make that work. So I'm now going to show you, just really briefly, the document that is available here. Share a screen. So this is the comparative market analysis. Comparative market analysis that I've got in the folder, and I've gone right now to the comparable properties. And as you'll see, the average sale price of sold in the last year of buildings that are right around. I used 1430, even though it has a lake view, just because it is within a block or 2 blocks of your home, and is enough similar full floor. It's a little less expensive because there are more units, but the average price of those 2 sales is $1,075,000, and the price per square foot average is $231 per square foot of those 2 sales. The active listings I've got here, I've got the 2 that are for sale within the building, and then I've used 233 East Walton units for sale, which are for sale at higher prices. But I also believe that they are not necessarily going to sell at those prices. So, but I include them. And you'll see here as we go into it that this comparative market analysis has photographs that help you look at. So this is unit 7. As you'll see, it's a little more old-fashioned in terms of its finishes, but there's, the quality floors. They have upgraded bathrooms, but it's not so different from. And I apologize for scrolling, but you can take your time and look at all these pictures. But based on this, and you'll see this in the comparative market analysis, that if your goals, and we want to talk about this, if your goals are selling apartment 8 in the short run at the price that it's most likely to sell at, with the least hassle to Jane, that we price it no higher than $1,250,000. I think that price would get you showings, get interest, and move forward. Starting higher will likely lead to some level of frustration with the process, frustration that people aren't interested, and unhappiness that it's not moving forward. So that's the comparative market analysis, and I stand ready to answer any questions. We can do it via Zoom. Again, I can meet with you. So let me know if you have any questions.